everyone, it's These Two Locas. I am Mika Kenya.
I am Jay Gill.
And today we are talking about mental health and just different aspects of it that personally applies to us. So, Jay Gill.
Mental health,
Yes.
I mean, it is a doozy. Within our culture, mental health means a lot of different things. Some people are like self-care, self-care Sundays, painting, sipping some wine, maybe smoking a little green, taking it slow. Other times it's actually going to see a licensed therapist, a clinician, a social worker, gang. Mental health is really just about making sure that your mind is good. I say that your mind is good, your heart is good, because that really oozes out through your soul and your body and your actions. So as someone that has gone through therapy, I loved it. It was a great experience. But now we're here talking about it like with our friends and our families and having all these shows where we're like, yeah, I see a psych, it's totally cool, or I'm taking medications because I have depression or something like that. So for me, it definitely helped save my life. I say it's talking to a best friend that doesn't give a fuck about you. And they kind of tell you what it is that you need to focus on and work through. And I just believe that everybody needs it by the time they hit their Saturn return. So that's just my idea of mental health. But mental health is also very broad. So how do you see mental health? What is it like for you?
Yeah, well, I think, growing up, you're always, or at least in my family, therapy was not talked about because it's like, you're going to tell these white people your business. Like, that is, yeah, so this is kind of like the understanding around therapy and going outside of your family for help. Like, that was kind of what was instilled into me from a very young age, or that you just pray about it.
Fix it, Jesus.
I think, as I've grown older, that I understand that therapy is very important. And what's funny is I've never been to a therapist before, but I'm always the person that people go to for advice about myself, that I am a person that can speak very objectively about things that people are going through, and I speak very objectively like about myself, and I analyze myself, but I don't necessarily think that that person means like you're just a-okay. I think you still I think you can still be a person who can clearly analyze yourself and other people, but also need to speak to someone else and like get that outside feedback about yourself. So it's interesting that I think that people think, people who go to therapy are only people who don't understand themselves, or like they can't, they're not like a person that can really speak to like,
they're not together,
right? Like they're just crazy.
Falling apart.
And I think that's not true at all, because I think I take myself for example, that like I can very clearly say something intelligent about like what I'm going through or what a friend is going through and give wonderful advice and answers. But I still understand that there's things that I'd like to still work through and could use the help of a therapist.
Yeah, I mean, props to you for recognizing that. It's not always easy to do the work. And some of us need a little boost. I know I found myself in a position where I just couldn't anymore. I just didn't, I was lost. I wasn't breathing right. I kind of felt myself like not being present and not knowing who to go to, because I didn't even know how to verbalize how I was feeling. So having a therapist really helped me kind of like identify, release, kind of adjust my mindset. And I was lucky enough to have it for 1.5 years. And then after that, it was kind of like, you're on your own. And it doesn't mean you can't go back, and it doesn't mean that you have to do it, but that option is there. And for those that are struggling right now to kind of make things happen, if reaching out to a friend is not accessible, if talking to your family is not accessible, because they could be cause of the drama. Right. We understand.
Right.
Maybe going outside of your circle and reaching out to a social worker, even a case manager. Doing an info. Oscars, there's apps now that you can kind of like text somebody like, yo.
Right. And I read a lot of think pieces and articles, and like I have internal debates with these articles. And I find for me that's really helpful. Like I like to read material from people who can really speak to it very eloquently, and I find myself just having these like internal conversations about it. So like even when you ask like, oh, like what do you think about mental health, it's like, wow, I think I'm taken aback only because I feel like I may have just had all these conversations internally and just never had it externally, and I don't really know how to speak to it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just really important to be honest too. Like, you know, I don't think anyone's looking for anyone to be like experts and be better tomorrow or like
not
know all of the things, but I think it's just a ever growing journey in everyone's lives towards better and stronger mental health.
Amen to that. Girl, I share. But with that being said, let us know what you guys think about mental health. If you know some really dope clinicians, drop it down.
Yeah, especially those of color, because
woo-hoo.
like I really want to find like an auntie type, like an auntie type, but like that she's like, but she is like very into like spirituality and like herbs and gemstones and like
she's like she's gonna crystallize you.
And she's to tattoos and she's like, you know, not judgmental. Like I want one of those. That she has like incense. Like
you want Erykah Badu?
I do. Like, can I just go to her? Like, and we can just talk about life. But yeah, like if you know any of those people, please let us know.
Let us know. Well, thank you guys for watching. I am Jay Gill.
I'm Nika Kenya.
And we're these two locas.
Bye.